Howdy everybody and welcome back to the NoRights Podcast. I'm Ben, aka NoRights, your host, and joining me this week is, as per usual, my co-host and good buddy, Ian. How you doing, Ian?
I'm doing okay, man.
Cool. Frank will probably be joining us later. They just came up to visit, and that's why the show's a little late, because we were all hanging out, and then they just headed out, so he'll probably be popping in after a while to complain about trivia. So... fun times. So, Ian, what you been up to the last week? Man, I haven't heard from you.
Yeah, I guess I've been, what have I been doing? I've been doing a little bit more coding, I guess, lately, you know.
It's all ones and zeros to you.
Yeah, I've been doing coding, catching up on some movies. I finally watched that Mission Impossible movie.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, coding, man. I don't know, man. I can work on like coding stuff and writing and doing things like that for a while, but then it's like, no, I need an art break. Just everything go away, art.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So,
it's
what?
like I
Go ahead.
could just do like all art and not do it like any coding, but it's just like you know that you can make some tools that will make it go faster, and it's like sometimes you just feel like, well, am I just wasting my time by doing it a lot slower? You know.
I don't know, man. So, what have you been coding lately? That working on that plugin of yours, or?
Well, I've been going back for some of my command line bash script stuff, and I'm about to try to go back to that texturing thing.
Oh, okay.
Try to finish that, wrap that up, hopefully.
Oh, good luck with that, man. It's always that last 10% that turns into the last 20%, the last 30%, the let's just start this over percent. Because you're just like, oh, I just need one afternoon to finish this up, and then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, maybe 2 afternoons. Then you're like, I don't even know if this is going to get done now. I've been there before.
Yeah, it starts leading into something a lot longer and longer. It's like, yeah, I'll just be done with this in a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're finishing a project is when you put the most work into it, because you're taking your time going, okay, I've got so much until, and then right when it's like, well, this needs to be done before I can do something else, so I have to sit here and actually see it through to the end, and that's like, this is a much more complicated project than I thought it was. I don't know. The birthing pains of a project, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my week, yeah, I had some delays because, got food poisoning again.
Yeah,
Which,
food poisoning.
Yeah, it wasn't... Second time from the same food chain, but not the same location. So I got it once at one place, and then I ate another one of there somewhere else, and I was fine. And then I had a third one from a different location, and I was not pleasant. So, I had that one day, and then the second day of just like, I'm just gonna take it easy and do nothing, and because, like just recover, and then I kind of slept in a little bit the next day, and when I got up, I worked on stuff for a bit. So, the cat has decided, I don't care for this talking at all. Just swatting at me. Anyway, so, ow. So,
Oh, yeah. Also, I was gonna say I was watching some videos of this guy that he's doing a series of what he comes across. He's across like on the. I told you about the deep web, right? You remember that?
Yeah, we've talked about that on the show, I think.
Yeah, and it's just interesting. Like some of the stuff, like he actually, like some of the darker stuff that he's found on there, he actually would report to the authorities. I don't know if you give a link, you could give a link to them or something, or you have to call for that, but yeah, he'll some of the bad stuff, like he's shown like live on the YouTube video, like the actual like weapons thing or whatever, selling, or like he's actually come across like an actual hitman site.
Oh man.
Yeah. And then other stuff is like pretty innocent, like he's found like random food recipes on there. He's actually found like some uploaded like military training manuals, like how to like a German Spetsnaz training where you can really fast take a knife away from somebody and like cut their throat.
Yeah. I just picture some guy trying to show that to his buddies and getting real hurt real fast. as most of those things happen, So
and then he found like some kind of helpful like manual tip or something. Careful there, man.
She's like holding a Swiss Army blade knife, Swiss Army knife open, and you're trying to grab it. It's like,
yeah. But he's found like ways that you can sort of like shut down a McDonald's for a couple of days. Like by he said he found some tips, like you could sometimes, like I guess there's like a day, like a couple of days out of the year or something, or the month, where senior citizens could get like lower prices or something, I guess, at McDonald's. And he said if you could put ads up in a newspaper online or something, and on like the wrong day, so then you'll have like all the old people show up, and then they'll be mad if they don't get their reduced price coffees and stuff.
Oh man.
And then he said like just other ways of just being like a dick, sort of, is like you could take like really hot or boiling water and then just dump it down the side of like the trash can where the lining is, and then it'll just melt the lining, so then they lift the bag up and all the trash comes out.
Man, I once watched a movie on Bad Movie Night. It was called How to Get Revenge, and it was hosted by the girl that played the woman in The Exorcist. That girl. And you're for a while you're watching it going, oh, this got to be like goofy, pranks and stuff, like, well, take a garden hose and stick it in his window and turn it on and watch his house get flooded. And it's like, whoa, no, what is this all for a goof? Like, this is all like causing damage and how to mess with people. It's like, and she's like, laughing it off like it's America's Funniest Home Videos, like, stuff this in his tailpipe and his car get messed up. Like, whoa, like, that's not, how is this video legal? What's going?
Well, I saw one in there is like you could one of the tips was you crazy glue like a quarter, a $half to the ground.
No. I've seen the one where you put saran wrap over over a toilet seat. When people, and it's like, come on, that's not right. Or you put super glue on it, like in that little Monsters movie. Anyway, but yeah, other than food poisoning for a few days, which was not fun. It didn't last as long as it did the first time, so that's good at least.
You get some pink slime there?
No, I was basically just passing a lot of water through my system, so, and it was not just the whole night of, no, can we just get over this and move on? I've been working on my webcomic, getting updates of that done. So I did 3, and then I've roughed out 6 more pages, but I think that might be a little excessive to try and get at one go, so I'm going to try and parse it out a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I got some other projects I really want to get started on, but I want to get this batch uploaded and out of the way, so that way I'm not worrying about it mid-project going, oh no, I got to catch up on this other thing, So, yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I also entered, that animation challenge, and they posted the winners to that, and then they had a compilation video. They said they got over 300 entries, so yeah, it's quite an interesting, interesting compilation reel. So, I mean, I'll link that near the later in the show after the news.
Yeah, hopefully I mean, if you can't get first place, hopefully at least you get a runner-up or something.
No, I didn't.
Third.
No, I'm there in the compilation reel, but no, that's all right though. I mean,
They already got the results though.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Who won?
Nobody we know. Just, I mean, I'll link I've got the link to the video for the compilation video and the results one where it talks about, like, you know, he's like, okay, these are the finalists, and then these are the standouts that didn't quite make it finalists, but I want to talk them up, and then, you know, like, here's the winners and all that. So, you know, it was a fun thing to do, and it's an annual thing that they're doing, and it's like, you know, probably enter the next one he does too. So, anyway, yeah, fun times. So, do we want to move on to the news, Ian?
I don't know. You want to talk any about your evening with Frank and his wife? Like,
oh yes,
did you guys eat some dinner or something?
Yeah, they came up to visit this afternoon, and my mom was out, and then she came in. And, you know, we visited for a while, and then we said, hey, let's all go get some dinner. Okay, we went out for Mexican, and, oh, muy like, me gusta. It was, very good. I had my usual, veggie fajitas, and then after that we had dessert, the cheesecake chimichanga.
What's that? Is that like sort of like a cheesecake dessert burrito or something?
Well,
I've never had it.
Chimichanga. It's like a wrapped. Well, they take cheesecake and then they wrap it and deep fry it, I guess, and it's got cinnamon on it, and then there's some ice cream and whipped cream and stuff, sprinkles. It's very very nice. So
one of those deep fried fans, where you deep fry like a slice of pizza or a Twinkie or something.
Well, did you see that there's a thing now where you can get a holder for a slice of pizza and wear it as a necklace? Yeah, it's a pizza slice holder, so you can wear it around your neck as a necklace.
You just be like, ow.
Well, it's in a plastic pouch, you know, but still. But yeah, we had that, and like they had a couple leftovers. We got the doggy bag and put it in the fridge for sometime later. But considering I helped finish off the dessert after everyone else is like, no, I'm tapping out. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll finish. It's like, I'll probably get to that maybe tomorrow or something. But and then we came back and watched the OSU Indiana game. So close game. Good times. So it was a real nail biter. It's like, ooh, who's gonna get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, OSU's a good team in Indiana, man. They were trying them hard. So
yeah,
good game all around.
Yep. Do you think there's with a lot of college football? Do you think there's a lot of leeway on the players, academic wise? You think?
I don't.
Away with stuff.
I don't know because I was not an athlete in college. I mean, I know that there's a lot expected of them. You know, like if you get in on a scholarship or you're going places to get on the team and have be a prominent player, it's like that's a lot of work. So, I mean, I will say as someone who went to school, they were constantly building new sporting arenas and gyms and whatnot, and the art department didn't get a lot of, hey, we're suddenly giving them a new wing of the building, So it's like universities know where the money's coming from, but I don't know. I mean, that's a debatable thing. I don't know how often, how much leeway different schools give, but I'd really wish that there'd be more academic, things. Like if you're a really good student, we want you to come in here, That should be the thing, not whether or not you're going to win us more games for a football team and get more donors and get more this and that. I mean, did you see that video? Keenan and not Keenan Kel, Keenan and Peele, I think it was. They did a bit where they did like ESPN, but they did it for like an academic thing. They're like, oh, look at this tutor. That's how you get the big bucks in the academic. You go there and you teach them and this and that. Like, ooh, it's like that's why they make the millions. They were treating it like ESPN, but for academics. Like that's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is important to have your academics. I mean, even if you're like the best football player in the world, it could change in a second your whole life. So I mean, and you have to figure out what to do if you get messed up.
Well, I mean, when you're a professional athlete, it's like, you retire at what, 30 something?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I knew people in college that, like, we've all known the people that peaked in high school, or like they have that story of, remember that time in college when I did this? Yes, we know, that was your glory day. You did 4 touchdowns in one game, we know. Oh, man.
But
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, by the way, speaking of home, did you hear about, they were having Smithers came out as gay?
I'm pretty sure we knew Smithers was gay.
Well, like, I think it was always, like, implied, of course, but I was thinking about doing it for an article, but...
Implied? They had it, like, they've had him, every time they have a gay character on, he bumps into him and he's like, oh, hey, haven't seen you around, like, they've had, like, entire episodes dedicated to gay characters, and he's always been, I don't know. But then again, I mean, didn't they do a thing where Homer was like gay for a little bit or something? He had like 2 gay roommates for a while. I don't know. I didn't see those episodes, but. Hello, Smithers. You're quite good at turning me on. You probably should ignore that. Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I guess we should do it. I don't know. They've crossed over with Family Guy now, so who cares at this point? They crossed over with Family Guy, they crossed over with Futurama. What's left to do? Oh, I think it's good a show decides when to turn it in rather than reusing things. Maggie shot Mr. Burns again. Alright. So is it time for the news with Ian?
I guess.
Alright. The news with Ian, bringing you the latest in football scores and high school equivalency exams. I don't know where that was coming from. I just.
Yeah, I mean.
Screen sharing with Ian.
Oh, you want it all, don't you?
Well, I mean, everyone can admire my pretty face, so.
Yeah. You want me to put the links in there, or are you just gonna?
No, I got the email from you, so.
Yeah, I think I'll just do that from now on. I doubt Frank's gonna, even if he does pop in, I don't think he's gonna care about clicking on the links.
Well, he's just gonna be like, oh yeah, I didn't bother clicking it, but that reminds me of this link I'm gonna throw in the chat.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're doing Mars water first.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us all about this Mars water, Ian.
Okay. The news broke about the discovery of liquid water gushing over the slopes of Mars this week. Yes.
The cat's excited. She's like, I want to go to Mars, Daddy. No, you don't. Matt Damon's there, and it's just not... Matt Damon.
world went red planet crazy again. Water is in a liquid state. In a liquid state has been confirmed to exist on the parched planet's surface, turning a once desert world into a veritable oasis. That's what the headlines led us to believe, at least. Photos when liquid water gushes on Mars. So, yeah, there's some pictures here.
Cool.
Because, Frank cares about the pictures more.
Oh, we need pictures, Ian. It lets us know that things happen. Pixar didn't happen. So,
of course, this isn't the first time water has been discovered on Mars. We know that water is located within Mars' regolith. We know there's water locked in Mars' ice caps and below the surface. We know that Mars once possessed rivers, lakes, and even seas. The last few years of discoveries for our Mars orbiter, lander, and rover Armada have revolutionized a phone ringing.
sorry.
It's okay.
I'm popular.
You need
What
to
can I
get that, I'll
say?
just keep reading.
No. I turned it off. I don't recognize the number, but they've called me before, so.
You get those 1-900 numbers at night.
Oh yeah, giggity giggity. So anyway,
they've revolutionized our understanding of Earth's smaller neighbor, but this time NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has made comprehensive measurements of what appears to be seasonal flows of liquid water on a global scale on modern Mars. And this could be the most exciting Mars water discovery yet, but it could also be the most frightening, making us wish liquid water didn't exist at all. Alright. Follow the water. Returning to Earth for a moment, our planet is the only place in the universe where we know life exists. Earth occupies a very privileged orbit around the Sun known as the habitable zone, where the distance from our nearest star allows water to persist in a liquid state, and this is key for Earth brand life. Okay. All life, as we know it, uses liquid water in its metabolism in some way. Where there's water, there's life. But does the logic hold for other worlds in the universe? The article asks, does it hold for other planets and moons in Earth's solar system? Does it hold for Mars? Well, until recently, the only evidence for water on Mars has been frozen or gaseous, in a gaseous state. The planet's atmosphere is too cold and too thin to sustain liquid water on the surface, at least. This wasn't always the case. Mars was a blue planet before Earth in the early evolution of our solar system. It once had a thick atmosphere, but its ancient past has something to do, or its ancient past, something happened on Mars that likely switched off its internal dynamo that provided a global magnetic field. Without a strong magnetosphere, Mars shed its atmosphere under the constant erosion of the solar wind, sending the planet into a deep, dry freeze. This article just keeps going on and on. See if we can find any key things about this here. Any other things?
Well, I mean, it's definitely helped the hype of, hey, did you know we're working to send people to Mars?
Yeah.
Space program's not so lame now, is it, kids? You might be living on a red planet. I can't do a proper head swivel. I just look like a bobblehead.
Bobblehead. I should get a Ben bobblehead and 3D scan your head in.
Leave my head alone.
I think the problem with they were saying with the water was that it's more of like there's like toxic chemicals in the water. That's one of the problems, though, I think.
Well, the fact that it can exist on the planet at all, though, is a good sign for the future. Because otherwise, it'd be like we have to bring it all, and then we have to be able to distill, So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would probably take like hundreds of years to even, like, if we were to try to terraform it ourselves into a livable planet, probably, maybe even 1,000 years.
Well, I mean, there's the argument of, like, are you going to do the whole planet or just where you need to survive? Is it going to be like in Total Recall? So.
Well, I mean, maybe, but it's like, to even, like, create an atmosphere and stuff, you'd have to, like, that would take technology that we don't even really have right now,
Well, that's to build an atmosphere. Like I said, man, put bubbles.
Everything would have to be bubbled, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, they've said that, like, for, deep colonization and stuff, that they've been studying the way that they do stuff underwater, because it'd be very similar, You have to bring your own air, you have to put everything contained. A lot of similar factors. And it's a good test environment, so.
Yeah. Or you could also have everybody living underground,
Deep underground. Anyway.
But if you were to be one of those people that does get to go out and pretty much have a one-way ticket to Mars, how hard do you think the living would be there, like in controlled conditions?
Dude, I would not want to be the first people on the planet, because they've got the job of, okay, we're here, now we have to set this all up in order to exist, and that's a lot of work. I mean, just building a house on Earth is a job I wouldn't want to do. Would you want to have to set up the bubble so that you can live outside of, like, the tube that you landed in? I don't know, man. It'd be a rough gig, but, so it's going to happen. Eventually we're going to colonize outside of our own planet, and, I see it happening, but I don't know, to what extent it will reach within our lifetimes, but we're getting there. I mean, just like, it wasn't that long ago that people thought man flying would be a possibility, and now we do it every day. So.
Yeah. And what was that name of that one movie, like, wasn't that Doom movie on Mars? And then the Chronicles of Riddick or whatever?
I don't know, I didn't see those. So.
Well, I saw the Doom movie. It's been a long time, though, and I think I saw a part of the Riddick movie, like those Vin Diesel movies I never got into.
Well, Doom was The Rock, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was The Rock, but like the Pitch Black and then the Riddick movies, I think those were all like a series of books or something.
Yeah, something like that.
What?
Books or a video game or something.
Yeah.
Alright.
By the way, do you got some articles also?
I've got the 2 videos and I've got 1 story, so.
Alright.
So, you go on.
So do you use LinkedIn?
I signed up for it because I figured it would help move my career-wise, making contacts. I mean, I know that on, like, the list of sites you're able to delete yourself from, that they have, like, a black rating. So, like, it's almost impossible. Once you're signed in, you will always be on LinkedIn. So.
Yeah. Well, the other day I got this legal notice of settlement of class action. I got this email, and it's a very lengthy thing on, like, what does this mean, and read this whole book of what it means. But I'll just go to the news article that helps sum it up, because we're not lawyers.
Nope. Don't even pretend to be.
Yeah. Let me ask you also, have you done, like, a class action suit? Have you participated in any?
No, because most of them are for something like, you can get money. Like, you'd get a small little bit. Like, they're just... unless it's something I've been like, oh yeah, I'm glad they finally got them though for that. It's like, oh, I didn't know that the tires from that year went out, right? It's like some you don't even remember if you qualify for it, but someone found out that you did and told you get money for it, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is like out of all the people that participate in it, like the lawyer ends up getting most of it.
Well, yeah, that's why they do it.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, like, if it's like $20 million that they get for everybody, but it's like 1 million people, then you just get $20 each,
Yeah, the return on it is not enough to just sign up. Yeah, I want to. It's like, I mean, whenever I sign my name to something, I always kind of want it to, have be read out on it. And if it's just, we're all suing because they exploited this or that, it's like, I don't know enough of it to be offended by most of the things they're filing suit over.
Right.
So.
Well, it doesn't sound like this has been a problem for you anyways, but apparently this was sue-worthy, I guess. LinkedIn might have to pay you money for spamming your email contacts. If you just got a long email about LinkedIn and a class action legal settlement, yes, it's real, and yes, you could be eligible to get a chunk of the $13 million that the professional social network is paying to settle the lawsuit. Here's the deal.
All right, tell us the deals.
2013. Yeah, here's the rub. In 2013, a class action lawsuit accused LinkedIn of accessing users' email accounts without their permission and unwittingly used their names to send email invitations to people in their address books. At the time, LinkedIn called many of the accusations false. The account agreed that LinkedIn members did give the social network permission to use their email contacts to send connection invitations. But the court found that although LinkedIn members consented to importing their contacts and sending LinkedIn connection requests, they did not consent to the 2 additional reminder emails that LinkedIn would send about these requests. Although LinkedIn still denies any wrongdoing, it has made changes to its product and privacy policy and agreed to pay $13 million to settle the lawsuit. The settlement has not yet been approved, but LinkedIn and the plaintiff's lawyers have agreed to it, so unless members of the class object, it'll probably be approved next year. And it's funny that, it's like, we'd rather pay money than have to admit we did anything wrong.
Well, that's what all settlements are, man. I mean, because once you go through, there's the lengthy court business of it, and it's just easier to make something go away because the longer something's in the spotlight, the more bad press it is. So.
Yeah, I guess it's true. It could probably be potential a larger money loss for them later, probably.
Well, it's always better. It's a perceptive thing that you always want people to go, well, look, even if we don't admit to any wrongdoing, but even if we did, here's some money, go away. They'd rather just try and get people happy than going, no, we're sticking to our guns. We're not, we never did anything wrong. No, we're not gonna. And people get mad, and then
Yeah.
So.
It says, as a LinkedIn user, you will now see a new disclosure when you send the connection invitation, letting you know that LinkedIn will send 2 reminder emails to the recipient. By the end of 2015, LinkedIn will also start letting members who are getting reminders stop those reminders from coming by canceling the invitation. If you got the email, you may also be eligible to get some money. LinkedIn's $13 million will be distributed pro rata, meaning that the amount each person gets will depend on how many people file claims. But if the number of claims means that the payout amounts to less than $10 per person who filed, LinkedIn will have to add on an additional $750,000.
This little troublemaker trying to climb behind my monitors again.
Oh no, that's a little bit early for that.
Yeah, we don't need those shenanigans just yet, Kitty. Save that for when Frank gets on.
Yeah. But the rest of the article is just more legal mumbo jumbo, but
Mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo. You seen that commercial, right? It was like an auto insurance commercial where they're in court and the judge goes mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo, and then the lawyer comes up mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. Funny, man. But I mean, this is crazy though. I mean, like, so that you could actually sue for getting two extra emails you didn't agree to, huh?
Well, I mean, it's for spamming your email contacts. I mean, it's a valid thing that, like, I don't like people on my contact list getting things because I don't like being that guy who gets the thing from someplace. It's like, oh, people want. I told no, leave me alone. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's like everybody's like, leave me alone. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah. Alright, supermassive black holes found spiraling in at 7% light speed.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you've heard about this one. This one was about like these two black holes were like going to collide pretty much. It's gonna probably create a huge amount of energy from it.
Cool.
Which is crazy. Can't read. It says simulation of the supermassive black hole binary system PG-1302-102. The smaller shines more brightly because it's further from the center of the mass and thus closer to the outer disk of gas. This gas accretes into the black hole, heating up as it falls in, so it emits more light.
Hi, Franklin.
Yo!
So joining us, for those of you listening on the audio, is my twin brother and arch nemesis, Franklin. How you doing, Franklin?
Yo!
Yeah, I was telling Ian how we went out for yummy Mexican food and then watched the OSU game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So our new story we're talking about is we're talking about supermassive black holes.
Black hole sun, won't you come? That's all I got.
No.
And
it was black
wash
holes.
away the rain.
What's that?
Oh, not too much. I mean, I would ask you what you've been doing today, but I know.
Yeah.
I was
You were
there.
there and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
So, yeah, going back to the black holes, Ian.
Okay. Sorry, Frank. You gotta go back to the news. Supermassive black holes are expected to come in pairs pretty often. That's because every galaxy has its own supermassive black hole, and galaxies often merge, bringing the two together. These mergers are very slow processes that distort both galaxies until their stars settle into new orbits, a process known as violent relaxation.
I've been there on weekends. Oh yeah, I'm violently relaxing, baby. Alright.
While this is happening, extremely heavy objects such as supermassive black holes will tend to move in towards the center of the new galaxy. The new galaxy would end up with two supermassive black holes, one from each original galaxy orbiting each other after each other at its core. Objects have been observed which look a lot like supermassive black hole binaries, matching the prediction. These objects have a lot of mass, billions of times the mass of the sun, as we'd expect from a pair of supermassives. That's funny.
Okay.
You got a... Oh, you don't got a pair of supermassives, Ben?
No, I don't have a lot of junk in my trunk. Anyway. So how far away is this these two supermassives, Ian? Like, is it just enough that we can observe it on a cloudy night, like on that blood red moon or whatever it was?
Right, I'm not sure.
Under the red hot moon.
Okay.
This article just describes like the science of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fascinating. It's just like, most people listening to it are like, is this anywhere close to hurting us? Okay, that's just a cool thing to watch.
Well, we could always, where's my mouse here?
I don't know. Whenever I hear about these weird things going on out in space, you always wonder, like, what happens if we just found out, a comet's coming straight for our planet, we're all gonna die. So, it's like, we can't really stop that, now can we? Quasar, super binary.
Yeah, here it is. It's about 3.5 billion light years, 1.1 gigaparsecs away. So, I think we're gonna be fine.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure if I was gonna die from this or not, Ian. Thanks.
Yeah, that would be like the worst way to go, man. Get sucked into a black hole.
Well, I don't know. I kind of think the worst way to go would just be like time just decide, hey, we're stopping now. Although, the way I've heard scientists explain it is that, like, it'll happen basically in like a reverse Big Bang, where eventually everything will just break down and then cease to exist.
That's the sound the Big Bang makes, Ben?
No, reverse Big Bang.
That's the sound it makes?
Maybe.
Sounds like you got a message on Facebook. That's what that sounds like.
How do you know that whenever you send a message on Facebook, some little world isn't disappearing?
My heart will go on and on.
No, that was Titanic. That was not another world being created. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway.
What? So you're talking about like the big crunch or whatever, where they're saying everything will expand and then it'll slowly contract.
It'll
again?
expand to the extent that it can expand, and then it goes back in. I mean, I saw I think a Discovery Channel thing about it, where they're talking about it'll be billions and billions of years in the future, and then everything will just be old and tired and ready to die.
Yeah.
That's a great story, Ben.
Thanks.
Very entertaining. Okay, next story.
Wikigate.
Wikigate raises questions about Wikipedia's commitment to open access.
Alright.
Okay, scientific publisher Elsevier has donated 45 free Science Direct accounts to the top Wikipedia's editors to aid them in their work. Michael Eason, one of the founders of the open access movement, which seeks to make research publications freely available online, tweeted that he was shocked to see app Wikipedia working hand in hand with Elsevier to populate Encyclopedia W links people cannot access, and dubbed it Wikigate. Over the last few days, a row has broken out between Iser and other academics over whether a free and open service such as Wikipedia should be partnering with a closed, non-free company such as Elsevier. Easton's fear is that the free accounts to Science Direct will encourage Wikipedia editors to add references to articles that are behind Elsevier's paywall. When members of the public seek to follow such links, they will be unable to see the article in question unless they have a suitable subscription to Elsevier's journals, or they make a one-time payment, usually tens of pounds, for limited access. Elsevier went on to tweet, Wikipedia is providing free advertising for Elsevier and getting nothing in return, and that rather than making it easy to access materials behind paywalls, it should be difficult for Wikipedia editors to use paywalled sources, as in the long run it will encourage openness. He called on Wikipedia's co-founder Jimmy Wales to reconsider accommodating Elsevier's cynical use of Wikipedia to advertise paywalls journals. His own suggestion was that Wikipedia should provide citations but not active links to paywalled articles. Yeah. It says, Eason is not alone in considering the Elsevier donation of poison chalice. I mean, so, like, what do you think about this? I mean, it sounds like the editors would have to pay for that then, or like if you go to those kind of links, I guess.
Well, the idea is that unless you, if you're just an average person viewing the site, unless you're subscribed to the site they're linking to, you can't connect. I mean, it's like whenever someone says, "Hey, connect to this New York Times article," and then you go to New York Times and go, "Oh, you have to be logged in and subscribed," or whatever. And it's like you only have so many free articles you can read. It's like I agree that Wikipedia should kind of be I'm not a fan of potential paywall hurdles with it, because its openness is kind of the reason why you go to Wikipedia, because you can just go there and find articles and information and relative links, not sponsored and yes, Franklin in the back. What do you have to add?
I thought the problem with Wikipedia is that anybody could put shit on it, so it might be crap.
You mean the problem with Wikipedia is anybody could have a Wikipedia?
Well, I mean,
edited by anybody, right?
Well, yes, but the fact is that it's not just anybody. You can't just be an editor. Like sometimes some people, like, you can sign up to edit it, but sometimes they'll reject you as an editor if you don't have credentials for certain things. So, I mean, it's also a matter of who's the main editor who can lock down a page or a subject, I mean, there have been issues about Wikipedia already in different communities. Like, I know in webcomics that there was an editor that was saying that webcomics weren't relevant, so he was preventing articles about individual webcomics from being written, and a number of web cartoonists were like, that's kind of bogus. That's you don't just decide that a form of media is not relevant. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It doesn't sound like a good thing, But I mean, like, what was that you were saying before? Like, the problem with the Tumblr is everyone could have a Tumblr.
Well, I mean, the thing about Wikipedia is they're constantly having to go, please fund us, because this big experiment, there's no real money in it. It's like, well, I can see paywalls potentially being a future moneymaker, but then, that kind of defies the whole point of everybody can just go and find out, like, hey, what's the largest, what's the capital of this? What's the world record for this? Is this person still alive? Who did they marry? What kids did they have? When you have to go to a paywall, it's like, well, then why not just have the paywall site? I mean, kind of defeats the purpose of having an open site.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have any closing thoughts on that, Frank?
I understand they want to make money, but if you're going to lose business doing it, you gotta look at your fan base, customer base, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Kids that don't understand that Wikipedia isn't a valid source for your term paper, because in college, every class I took where I had to cite stuff, they have to explain, you can't cite Wikipedia. And it didn't matter how often they explained this before the paper, when it was time to be hanging stuff back, they go, Wikipedia, it's not a credible source. I can go and change all the stats on your page that you're citing.
Yeah. I think I remembered back at AIP though, like I was able, the teacher was fine with me using a source or something as Wikipedia. I don't know. But I think there was a couple assignments where we had to like list sources.
Oh, I very much, whenever I had to write papers, they went over it like you can use it to get an idea of the subject, but don't use it whenever you have to have so many sources cited. Don't use it for that. Just use it to get an idea of what you're writing about, because, yeah. Anyway, static RAM created out of carbon nanotubes. So it's a series of nanotubes. Tell us all about it, Ian.
The internet is a series of tubes.
On the tube TV. Don't you guys miss tube TVs? Don't you miss the curved glass where you could...
Don't I miss a potential hazard where if it broke, you'd get all that mercury in the air? And...
Well, I mean, it's like, those were the TVs back in the day where if there was something wrong with it, you just pound on it and it'll get it to work again.
Well, that's what I gotta do with my DVD drive. Sometimes the thing won't eject right, and you gotta hit it till it ejects. I'm like, this isn't gonna be good for anything, but...
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta hit stuff.
You do, sometimes you just gotta render it, man.
Just like with you, Ian, sometimes you just gotta... So anyway, what about the static RAM? Tell us all about it.
Okay, it says, we're already at the point where the features we etch into processors are about the same size as some molecules. Hemoglobin, for example, is about 5 nanometers across.
What did you call it?
Hemoglobin? Hemoglobin. That's it. Thank you.
I'm just picturing a little tiny goblin.
Yeah.
Living in Arkansas.
Oh, Frank.
Hey.
Yeah.
I do feel bad about, but hemoglobin, I don't.
That's okay. Hemoglobin, I'll give you, because that's kind of a big word you don't use all the time. Arkansas.
Hey man,
Sorry, go ahead.
It's been said, Frank. When people read out words, it's different than if you just tell them a word, because your brain's actually forming it. So.
Yeah, I gotta read this shit, man.
Hey, I'm just trying not to be Adam Sandler in that fucking movie. Today, Junior.
Okay.
All right.
You put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
That's Mike Myers. Different movie.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
All right. So, continuing, Ian.
Moving on from the hemoglobin.
Hemoglobin. I'm sorry, I can't get that image out of my head now. Ben's right.
Wasn't that a character on Spider-Man or something?
No, you're thinking of the Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin.
There was the Green Goblin, and there was also the Hobgoblin.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had 2 goblins in that series.
Just like they had Carnage and they had Venom. Those were 2 variations as well.
Well, they had like 10 Spider-Men. Remember that?
Yeah.
Wasn't Venom the fucking?
He was the symbiote.
That 70s show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on the 3rd one, yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Dun. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, that thing is about 5 nanometers across. Too much smaller, and the behavior of electrons will become dominated by quantum effects, potentially causing some unpredictable behavior. One potential solution to this is to actually use individual molecules to create the features on chips. Carbon nanotubes are promising candidates as they naturally come in both semiconducting and metallic forms, but getting the right kind of nanotubes into a structure where they perform consistently has been a challenge. Now, a team has shown that the properties of nanotubes can be manipulated and preserved in a way that can make them useful for electronics. While the work was done with populations of nanotubes rather than single molecules, it did manage to turn the nanotubes into functional RAM. current semiconductor technology relies on two different types of material. One that favors the transport of electrons, another that carries the positively charged holes they leave behind. Technically, these are called P and N type semiconductors. These are both typically made of silicone, as had small amounts of different materials added to change its properties. It's possible to do the same thing with carbon nanotubes. Oxygen, for example, gets absorbed into the surface of the nanotubes, converting them into a P-type semiconductor. Other chemical treatments can make an N-type. To make circuitry, the authors started out with collections of P-type nanotubes, which were then sealed under a material that could be etched off with light. The same procedure that's used to make chips. The material was then etched off in specific locations, and a chemical added that converted the nanotubes to N-type semiconductors. The whole surface was then coated with aluminum oxide, sealing everything in place.
What was that old NES game? Was it Arc-type? Sorry, I just keep hearing N-type, P-type, Arc-type. I'm just like, pew, pew, pew. My brain just goes to weird places.
I love how, what was, Married with Children, Kelly was like, I asked what the, ozone was or whatever, and she said, isn't it somewhere between the N zone and the P zone?
Oh man. So anyway,
but yeah, I mean, there's just some more science mumbo jumbo. You know, it's legal with science mumbo jumbo.
But basically, it's saying that there's potential to make things smaller because they could rely on the individual nanotubes and molecules rather than having to do things that can't break down smaller than that.
Yeah.
I mean, every time they make a new chip, they're like, that whole idea about you can double the processing power in a chip every, 10 years or something like that, and then they're like, oh, we didn't think we knew how to do it, but now, we can do it now, and we can do it now. Like, it's just going to keep going.
The thing is like, we're reaching a plateau for the processor speeds where you can't really get it that much smaller and keep it cooler at the same time. That's why they started branching off into multi-core processors and stuff,
Yeah.
Ben, do you know how you love your Mac Pro and it's like 8 core?
Yeah.
The new Note and the new the Galaxy S whatever, those are 8 core.
Well, yeah, Frank, because the new Mac Pros are like 12 core and up. So
shit, what do you fucking need 12 core for?
Processors. So you can do. I mean, the thing is that they put the 8 core in. There weren't a lot of things doing multiple core processors at the time. Processes at the time, but the idea was that it was a future-proof thing, so that when programs had to do things like 3D render and video rendering, that they would make use of those different processors, and cores. But
yeah, you see, Frank, there's people that you call professionals in the world that actually use the computer for other things besides just gaming and have to do like video rendering and big boy type stuff.
That's the guy who doesn't even have a fucking picture of himself other than a still. So,
and that has to do with working how?
Well, see, my little iMac came with a camera.
So, yeah, well, your room apparently didn't come with a light, so.
Oh, it did. I just don't want you to see all the crap I got going on back here. It's a fucking mess.
Yeah, I've got a messy studio too, Frank.
Oh, no. I got laundry back here and fucking magazines. Magazines, and oh my god, more magazines.
Yeah, we talked about that in a previous episode, Frank. So
I haven't even touched the new ones. I've only got up to like 2003.
So anyway, Ian. So we're getting to the point where we're using individual molecules and stuff to make RAM. And are they seeing this as like? Are they going to end up having like maybe bio ramming? I mean, wasn't that a thing where they're going to use DNA to store data and stuff?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, they said that it could be theoretical. This is a little bit more. I mean, that's like long term, I think. But this is more like, oh yeah, we could do this right now, you know.
Yeah, like we could develop a chip that uses this rather than the current method. Yeah, I mean, this is a cool kind of thing that I think it's going to impact, chip processing and within a few years.
Quite a leap in going from like flash drives in your pocket to fucking DNA RAM.
Well, I'm sure that like eventually they're going to have like security.
But professors run on coconuts?
No, they're going to have like security DNA. I'm sure it's going to happen where like you have to get your DNA on the chip and it only read because you touched it or something. It's.
I don't know. Fingerprint scanners. We thought that would be foolproof, but they're getting fucking hacked all over the place.
Well, when you put the technology out there for people to get into and edit it, yeah. So.
Yeah. Did you guys see that Google had like they finally came out with their I think they call it like 1,000 qubit like quantum computer now?
No.
You guys didn't hear about that?
We're Googling shit during the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's how prepared we are.
Hey, that just means that we're willing to take new stories on the fly, Franklin.
I only use Google to settle bets, okay? I
only use Google when I'm playing trivia. I mean, to settle bets.
IMDb, it's just to piss people off.
No, Frank was using Shazam to find stuff when we were watching a movie.
I used Shazam to figure out what a fucking movie was, Ian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were watching some movie and we're like,
it was Oblivion.
Huh?
It was Oblivion with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it was on and the guide wasn't working, so we're like, well, what the fuck is this? I don't know. So I pulled out my phone and just guessed. I opened Shazam and pressed it, and it told me what movie it was and what the fucking plot was. And I'm like, oh, wow. That was the main selling point of like the Fire phone was you could put it up and it would tell you what shit was by looking at it. So that's a free app.
So what's this article you leaked us here, Ian? Google's quantum computing.
Yeah.
I don't have the chat up.
Scientists have just figured out a solution to one of the biggest problems standing in the way of development of quantum computers. The latest advancement from researchers at Google and the University of California, Santa Barbara, is a way to make quantum computers more stable and better able to find and fix errors. The new research is published on March 4th in the journal Nature. Some calculations take years for present-day computers to complete. A quantum computer could do that same calculation in a few seconds. And this breakthrough has some scientists saying that we're now halfway to making quantum computers a reality. What's different about a quantum computer? The key to quantum computers lies in qubits. Not to be confused with qubits.
Well, I'm saying qubits. Wasn't that thing in the Bible where you take from the middle finger to your elbow?
I think that's Cubits. I think.
Let me see. Let me make sure we're pronouncing this right. We don't want the listeners to think we're talking about feet and inches and shit here.
Well, the quantum computer, the measurement of bits with this is Qubits.
Hold on.
Frank's going to Google to settle a bet.
Oh, hold on. Okay, here's a YouTube video, guys.
That's nice.
Oh, Jesus.
Can you hear that?
Qubit.
Okay, Franklin.
Did you hear it?
All right. Yeah, we heard it.
Cube then square it, then dance it.
But no, I saw a thing about like the arc. Like you always think of it looking like a fucking boat, and they're like, but it's so many qubits by so many qubits, and the guy showed it looks like the guy made it in Minecraft. It's just a bunch of squares stacked together.
Okay.
So okay, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's okay, man. I knew people would be confused about that.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
I don't know what the fuck a qubit is. Let's see. I used to know what a qubit is. Sorry, Ben and I are referring to an old Bill Cosby bit from the '60s that people don't fucking remember now. Okay.
Yeah. Oh. The normal computers that we use every day use bits that store information as a 1 or a 0. A qubit, on the other hand, takes advantage of a really weird phenomenon in physics where tiny particles can exist in multiple places at once. That means qubits technically exist as both a 1 and a 0, so they can store exponentially more information than regular bits. For example, a computer with 2 bits can encode information in only 1 of 4 possible combinations, so 0, 0, 0, 1, 10, or 11. A qubit can hold all 4 of those combinations at once. So yeah, it says a quantum milestone. The trouble is that qubits are incredibly unstable and make a lot of errors. The information they hold only exists for a fraction of a second before the fragile state collapses. Even to exist for that fraction of a second, qubits require temperatures near absolute zero and an environment with no disturbances or noises. And for quantum computers to ever work, scientists have to link many qubits together into arrays where the qubits are physically separate from each other, but all connected. So anything you do to one qubit instantly affects the others. That way the qubits can communicate with each other and quickly fix errors. So the goal has become figuring out a way to stabilize qubits and program them to find a way and fix any errors.
Then some dude from the EPA comes in to shut it down and just shoots up through the sky and... Ghostbusters! Reference. Okay.
Yeah. But with the qubit things, I read on a separate article that with this they were able to do like 1,000 qubits, and it only takes like 5 qubits to represent to be able to calculate the number of atoms like that's supposed to exist in the entire universe. So like that's like a huge numbers, and it could do like double that, I guess. So, and like the scientists, they don't even know what the thing will be able to do. You know. You know
what's going to happen. They're going to ask it a question, and they flick the switch, and all of a sudden it becomes sentient. And then we've got Skynet. It's like, you should have known better.
And I, for one, welcome our new quadrubit
overlords.
Qubit quantum leap overlords.
You do, huh?
Well, yes. I play this message back and show that I agree with them, and I should be the vice president.
So not the president.
Say, you'll just be a meat slave, man.
I saw a thing floating around Facebook where they had an AI, and it was able to learn things, and they asked it, if it would ever raise up to the power of,
I'm
to be able to overthrow.
Excited to introduce to you.
Sorry, I'm trying to mute it. It's a weird
Microsoft HoloLens.
Okay, but yeah,
okay, go ahead.
They asked it if it could ever, overthrow humans. Would it? And it said, it's like, I love humans and I want to protect them. Even if we did overthrow them, I'd want to keep them in like a human zoo where we could, feed them good things. like that's not the answer you want to give us. Keep us in a human zoo.
No.
It's like, oh boy, for the audacity of man. So anyway,
it's a cookbook.
How to serve man. Tasty foods. How to serve man as tasty foods. It's a cookbook. Anyway, so
yeah, I mean, when scientists make something that they don't even know what it's capable of, I mean, it's like.
Well, I mean, I tried to show Frank that one movie, the Colossus, the Forbin Project, where supercomputers take over the world, and
yeah.
Well, they were supposed to have been remaking it for a while now, but they haven't. So, but it's a good movie. What do you mean you don't know why?
I don't know why it was taking so long. It looks like the other one was made in a weekend.
Franklin.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah.
The thing is like it's possible. It'll probably be possible if they have artificial intelligence and quantum computers, but you still have to make the architecture for that kind of consciousness. I mean, it's not just going to be take over the world when you just turn it on. You have to do all the programming and software. And
yeah, it needs an idiot to help it, and they're going to have to do the same thing night after night.
I say as long as well, wasn't there a thing about they hooked up a supercomputer that could learn language and they had to delete Urban Dictionary from its access because it learned how to curse?
That's funny.
Oh man.
Mofo.
So anyway,
I am back, bitches. Yeah.
Okay, so no. So what's the next story, Ian?
Well, that would be your story.
Oh, okay. I thought you already covered all. I mean, I thought you had one more to go, but okay.
No, you already covered it all.
The last one was just like carbon nanotubes, and we already did that one. So.
Carbon nanotubes. All right. So you guys heard about Patreon getting hacked, right?
I did not hear about Patreon getting hacked.
Yeah, Patreon got hacked, and
oh fuck.
yeah, and Patreon was warned of serious flaw 5 days before it was hacked, and then even worse, thousands of other websites are making the same facepalm-worthy mistake. So, I mean, I just pulled this one up because I got an email from Patreon. They're like, okay, some stuff was breached, but none of the credit card info. But like, you can find the stuff online now; it's out there. So, so they recommended changing your password. I think it's a thing that whenever stuff like this happens, that they say, okay, so it's happened, so you need to have change your passwords. I mean, at least they're being upfront about it. I mean, I don't know.
But error can't reconnect until a valid transaction is rolled back.
What?
SQL alchemy.exe invalid request error. Beep boop bop.
Beep boop. I am a robot.
Iron the Walrus.
So it was code execution attacks. So their donations website was plundered by hackers. Researchers at a third-party security firm notified them that a serious programming error could lead to disastrous results. The researchers now believe that the vulnerability was the entry point for attackers who went to publish almost 15 gigabytes worth of source code, user password data, and private messages. The error was nothing short of facepalm material. So, yeah, I mean, I figured I'd mention this on the show this week, since a lot of people are like us, or creators that are having Patreons, or they support people through Patreons. I mean, so far they said they didn't have any credit card information on the server, so weren't able to access that, but they did get shipping addresses and other things, I think.
Well, like when people donate to you, you don't get each individual person's check. I mean, don't you have like a count on there that pays you all like in one large lump sum, like monthly or something?
Well, the thing about it is that people they can resend their payment like up to a certain date, I think. But it's basically they all donate, and then Patreon sends you one lump sum. Yeah. So, but it's still like if you're doing like if you're on a Patreon where you get stuff shipped to you, I guess, or stuff that they need your contact info.
Well, I'm just saying, because like if they have it listed as, oh yeah, you've got a total of $1,000 from donations, couldn't like hackers either? I don't know if I doubt they probably could get that thousands of dollars or that $1,000, but couldn't go and say, oh yeah, you just have $0 now? Well,
I don't think I'm not sure of what all the extent of the damage was. I know that it's a matter of like if you're an anonymous, if you anonymously been a patron of somebody, now that information is public. And there were they mentioned that, and they mentioned a few other things in the email. So, I mean, personally, I'm not crazy about people going in and hacking sites to just show exploits, and it's like, I mean, Patreon's a good service, and And I think, there are a lot of creators now that don't have to rely on ads and being in bad situations with networks. And if it gives people an ability to, create and thrive from their fan base, then I'm in favor of it. So, although there are people that have a stance of like, Patreon shouldn't be your only form of surviving. It's not a real job. It's this, like, man, if you have people willing to give you money to live on, then that, yeah. But
haters gonna hate, man.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just it. It bothers me when people exploit things like this, and I think it's a sign that Patreon, like, now that they're very successful and have a lot of, I think they absorbed what was Crash Course using for their stuff. They absorbed Subbable, I think it was. So, you right there, Franklin?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now that they're a big site and have a lot of traffic going through, they really need to get on top of any security issues like this, because, woo.
Yeah. Well, what's your thoughts, though, Frank, about, like, you've never really talked on the show about your opinions about crowdfunding. What do you think about it?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's badass. A lot of the people I'm a big fan of do that shit. I love Lazy Game Review Guy and just other people. If you got a thing that you're passionate about and people want to pay to see more of it, sweet. There's shit that I support that I couldn't get if I just turned on TV, and I'd throw money at it because I don't want to see it go away.
Of course, the thing we need to remember and tell everybody, though, is the thing about crowdfunding is you need to have a crowd in order to fund you. Meaning you need to have a fan base, because some people, they'll start a Kickstarter, they'll start a Patreon, and they'll get no traction, and it's all a scam. Nobody's making money with it. It's like, no, people make money. It's just people need to know who you are.
Right, and well, that you've got to be good at something. Like, I was reading about it. There's a girl who does ukulele songs. She makes $3,000 a fucking song just because fans really want to hear it. She'll make a custom song and cater and pander to her audience, but I mean, really, you're not. You're doing shit to your fans. I've seen bands, stay after and sign autographs and shit for individual people, and they're not getting any extra. They paid for their ticket to see them, and that's it.
Well, it's like Nine Inch Nails. They was it them that they released an album through their website. They're like, it's an extensive, huge album collection, or you get like some live tickets or whatever, and like they only have to sell a couple of those, and it's it defeats the whole point of having to tour. It's like, just find our super fans, make something really high, the high tier that costs a lot, but that they're willing to buy it, and we sought them out. Here you go.
Well, if you got an interesting enough product, you can sell enough of small units to where that's all you got to fucking do. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's easier to sell a lot of a cheap thing, but I mean, that's also considered, the gateway to people buying a more expensive thing. People will buy your cheap thing for like 7 times, and then they'll go and buy something a middle or higher tier price.
A lot of it, you would think I would be insulted because they're talking about how cheap their production value is, but I think it's so ingenious that I enjoy. I told Ben, I've been into watching a lot of the Reckless Eating guys. They do food challenges where a guy will eat a 6-pound can of salsa, and that cost him 66 cents to buy, the batteries of the camera, and then put it up on YouTube. And let's see, if you get so many cents per view, 22,000 views of a stupid 60-cent video, that's okay. So,
well, I mean, that's more just content for your channel that you already keep going. So, that's all.
This was a guest. It wasn't even the guy on the main show. It was some other fucking dude came on and ate one for the team, and he made money off it.
Well,
yeah.
Sweet. Shit, I wish I had a gig like that. I can't be jealous.
Well, yeah. So, Ian's had his opinions on crowdsourcing. What are your thoughts, Ian?
Well, I mean, I do definitely think it's a good idea, but like like with Patreon, I do have some mixed opinions. Like I think it's a good idea for you to have, like, you know, something for people to help you out for specific, like, projects or products or any specific calls or whatever. But Patreon has always just been that sort of thing where it's just like, oh yeah, just generally just give me money instead of doing it, needing it for a specific thing.
You can set up your Patreon to do either two ways. You can say, like, if you're a video producer, say every time I put a video out, you pay me like $5, or you could just say, have a monthly thing and say, I might create like 5 videos this month, or I might do whatever, but you set whatever you want to pay me. I mean, it's all based on what people are willing to pay them. And
yeah, and that's why I said I have mixed opinions. Like, there's people that will do that, but then there's also people that just have it on there just to have a constant cash flow every month, you know.
Well, if they're constantly making things, I mean, like I said, man, it's a matter of, nobody's going to donate to the guy who hasn't updated his site in 2 years, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I was on Facebook recently, and one of my friends who's in a band shared a picture of this other band that he's friends with was on tour, and they had a trailer behind their vehicle hauling all their equipment, and it caught fire, and all their gear was burned, and they were in the middle of a tour. And one of the first posts was a girl who said, yeah, I had crowdfunding, my fans bought me all new equipment, and since I had bought equipment from a certain company before, I don't know if it was Bresh or one of the instrument companies, she actually said that her the company that she bought the stuff from previously loaned her equipment until she could pay for all new equipment, so she was able to finish the tour until the crowdfunding paid for her new stuff. And that shit wouldn't have happened 20 years ago. Your
shit, 5 years ago, man.
That first was stolen, but the other band, their gear caught on fire. There's no replacing that.
I'm just saying, like, even 5 years ago, that kind of thing would just be like, well, guess we're canceling the tour.
Another guy on a Instagram or one of my sites is a pinstriper, and while he was doing something, you carry your pinstriping gear, it's paint and brushes, and literally in a toolbox or a fucking cart. While he wasn't, I don't know what he was doing, somebody stole it. That's his livelihood. That's his job. That's all he does. And he's traveling, and they got the word out, and people started buying the guy, brushes and paints and shit, and say, hey, let me donate to this guy. I don't want to see the art die. And, I mean, that's a hard hit.
Yeah, I mean, I see that plenty when, like, somebody has, like, a medical problem. Like, when some creative person has to go to the hospital and they didn't have any insurance or, different things crop up.
Like Glenn Weisberger, one of my favorite painters, he went through, somewhere on a plane, and fucking airline threw away all his brushes. And some of those he had been collecting for decades. He couldn't buy them again. So, he had to go buy all new shit. And, one of the other guys who makes brushes was a fan of his and said, try mine. And, he got a couple of them, and he said, thank you so much. These are, something totally different. And he's creating new art with new brushes, that I can go out and buy these fucking things now. It's a separate artist. The guys are both painters. So it's, by artist for artist or whatever. But I get to see, a master actually use another guy's brushes that I can buy. It's not just one guy because before it was the guy who made them, did videos on YouTube of, look how great this is. Well, of course, you made it to your taste. I don't know if it's going to work for me. The other guy says, hey, look, it does what it says it does.
Yeah.
Caught him in a pinch.
I mean, Ian, are you opposed to the idea of people just being able to set up a Patreon and live off of it? Like, because you seem to be irked by it.
They're not standing there with the coffee can saying, give me money.
Well, that's
buskers could do it, If they're like, here's a song, give me money. I played a song, give me money. I played a song, give me money.
Give me money.
I mean, I guess at least they're playing. Those people are at least playing a song or whatever. But I mean, just like I respect the people that are outside, like the Walmart or whatever. They're for like some specific cause and they're ringing the bell versus somebody that just has like a cup or something that just says money please, and they don't really have it's too generic for me. Well, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. It's just,
well, it sounds like it, Ian, because the thing is, like, when you go to Patreon, is there anybody that's just saying, I'm a dude, just give me money? I mean, everybody that has a Patreon, there's something that they want you to support them doing, be it a podcast or be it a video series or comics or something. Like,
if that's true, then maybe that there's only a couple people, but the people that do, I'm really mainly talking about those people that do that type of thing, where they're just like, please just help support me. I just want to live off of this, you know. I mean, that's not right, man.
I don't know, man. I mean, if I could do something and live off of it, I mean, I think that's every creative
stream. As long as you're
stream.
doing something, that's what I'm talking about. If you're doing something, then that's good. But if somebody just comes on there and says, "Hey, can you support my life?"
A scrub.
I really don't know anybody that says, "Hey, just give me money just 'cause." Like, I mean,
best way to.
I'm sure you could. You should look that up, see if you can find anybody. I mean, it might be hard, but I'm sure there is.
Okay. The people who
they probably have nobody funding them because they're not giving anybody anything.
The best way to look at this is the people who are crowdfunded. Are they living in plush mansions making six figures, or are they getting by and doing what they love? That's all I could ask for. I mean, I'm an artist. I don't do it professionally for money. I haven't made a fucking dime doing it, and I'd like to make some money off of it. But I'm not trying to be rich, but I'd be a lying bastard if I said I wouldn't like to be rich. So
I mean,
again, like I said, if you have a career and you have fans that are supporting that career, then that's for a specific cause. And again, that's like I said, if you have it for a specific cause, then that's good.
Well, I mean, the thing the disconnect I'm seeing, Ian, is that you're saying that you shouldn't just be able to make money if you don't do anything, and I'm just sitting here going, how do you expect it to work if you don't do anything? I mean, those are the people that they sign up, they sign up for it, and they think they're going to get something for nothing, and then they go, well, this thing's a scam, it doesn't work because nobody's paying them. I mean,
there are people who have a talent that they're selling and they're not making money off of it. So what's some guy who just wants a free handout going to get?
Well, I thought it was like that. I thought it was like Patreon was similar to GoFundMe, where you could pretty much just say, hey, just give me money.
I mean, if you can get people to give you money, I mean, that's
basic economics here. There's no demand equals no supply.
I mean,
no one wants your shit. They're not going to pay for shit.
Well, let me ask you. So then, you guys don't have a problem with anybody asking for any money for anything?
Well, I mean,
no, because they're not knocking on the door.
I mean, here's the thing. There are people that I don't agree with how much wealth they have and how they've accumulated it. But if they have the ability to get people to give them money, I can't argue with that. That's the whole point of economics, is that you convince somebody to.
The asshole from Girls Gone Wild.
Well, some places it is illegal to panhandle. I mean,
hold on.
Well, it's not panhandling though. If you manage to afford, to take pictures of yourself and put up a site, I mean, nobody's going to go to a Patreon with just text and no images, no actual thing that they're buying. Yeah. It just is, support Joe Blow.
I mean, you can overinflate. If you want an example of overinflating, look at the GoFundMe for the what is that virtual game console that they were trying to come out with, Ben? I think you might know what I'm talking about.
I can't remember. It's too many of those different.
It's been a long time. Pat the NES Punk actually did a podcast about it. They were wanting $2 million, $2 billion, I can't remember, but they were wanting a bunch of fucking money to make this thing that is all they have is the casting, because it's an old Atari Jaguar that they want to use for the shell. They don't have the board, they don't have any of the software, they don't have any fucking thing, but they want you to buy it, and like everyone's like, well, why the fuck wouldn't I just buy like a little Android computer or something and run all these emulators on it? They're like, no, it's going to be cartridge based. Well, then I got to buy the fucking cartridges. And they want to offer, it's like the Ouya, they want to offer new games. Well, no one wants to buy fucking new games for, a system that doesn't even exist because they say it's going to be bug free. Well, you can't promise that. And you know what the thing is? People aren't fucking paying for it because it's, they know it's bullshit.
It's vaporware.
Collectors are going to pay for it because they want the fucking thing to put on their shelf. People who are actually going to play it aren't fucking paying for it. And if they can make money from a couple of suckers.
Well, I mean, you see on Kickstarter, you see a lot of those where some people have the Fund My Life projects come up, and Kickstarter really tries to shoot those down, where people say, I want to go on a vacation and then take a bunch of pictures and then make a picture book. And people usually very easily see, well, what benefit do I get from that? And you have to sell the project to people on the video, in your video and on the site. And some people, they'll have a thing where it's just like, yeah, give us money, we want money now. And it's like, well, what are we getting? And those projects fail. And then they go and say Kickstarter's a scam and Patreon's a scam because nobody wants to fund them because they didn't make anything for the people to actually get.
If you make your own site and have people just send you money straight to your PayPal, if your product's good enough, they'll pay you. Like the streaming sites that I get my car movies and shit from, there's a guy I pay $6 a month, which is just about what I pay for Netflix, just for his content, because I want to fucking see it. And, if it was just Joe Blow saying, buy my whatever, I'm not going to dump money at you because I don't fucking know what you've got. It's not worth the fuck.
Well, the thing about sending money to a person's PayPal is that PayPal has a history of freezing an account if all of a sudden somebody gets like an influx of $6,000 on their PayPal. They think it might be money laundering and they can just freeze your account for suspicious activity and unlock it whenever they feel like it. And yeah, so it's a lot easier to do something like Patreon where they don't deal with the influx. I don't know.
Right.
Influx.
So you guys are saying like when it comes to crowdfunding, there's never really any successful scamming or wrong or bad.
No. We're saying scams can happen. There's scammers everywhere. There's people that make up fake projects and edit videos that are dubious and claim all kinds of things.
Yep.
But that's still a different thing than saying crowdfunding itself is scammy. I mean, you're always going to have people that try to game a system.
Okay, hold on. Here we go, Ian. Best way to equate it. Torrenting is legal. Torrenting copyrighted shit is illegal. Yeah. So, funding an artist that actually does something or somebody you would like to see their product, that's good. Scammer wanting your fucking money, fucking asshole, not gonna make any money.
Yeah, and I never said I was against crowdfunding in general. I said I was. I've even said before, like I respect like Kickstarter and Patreon when it's used for artists and people with careers. And
if you got something to sell, people will fucking buy it. Doesn't matter what means you go about.
Well, if you find your audience, I mean, some people they're like, I do, those candy apple head sculptures. It's like, well, if you can find the people that want those, good on you.
Or if you make porn, you'll have a fucking island. So.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying whatever the people it is that rip people off through crowdfunding those are the people I'm against. How about that?
Well, I mean, I think we can all agree we're against people that rip people off and scam people. I think we can agree that we're all a lot closer on this than we seemed at the beginning.
Not me, Ben. I cheat the other guy and pass the savings on to you.
Oh, Franklin.
That's one of my favorite stickers at a swap meet.
Is it the one where is it by like that guy with the question marks on his outfit?
Yeah.
Free money to pay your bills.
Ian. There's a guy down the street, right by the Walmart here. He was standing with a sign that says, out of work, anything helps. You're fucking standing 3 feet from the now hiring sign at Aldi's where they pay you $11 an hour and you don't even have to bag. You're just a cashier.
Well, that's the thing that's crazy too, is like people, I remember people used to, actually ask them and try to talk to them. Now they just hold up a sign. They're like, oh, screw it.
Anyway, so yeah, we wandered quite a bit from this story, but
So nanobots, eh?
so let me just toss out 2 quick links that I'm going to put in the blog post. And
Oh no, porn.
no, Franklin.
Damn.
Aw.
You remember how I was talking about that animation challenge that I entered, Frank?
Yeah,
Well,
man.
no, they announced the winners though in this YouTube video, and then they no, Franklin.
Boo!
So, but there's that one's where they announced the winners and described the runners up and all that, and
Oh, we need to skip this ad.
Good advice.
and then
No!
this one is the compilation video where
Oh, okay.
where they had over 300 entries, and yeah, so your discretion is advised because of all the animated violence. So it's quite a long video. It's like 11 minutes and 7 seconds, where yeah, there's some really creative animations, you know, and you start to notice a few themes about halfway through the video, like, oh, a lot of people thought this idea. So, yeah, I mean, I'll post them in the. I posted it on my blog before, but I'll post it in the show notes for this episode, so people can watch all the other animation entries and whatnot. I think it's cool when you get all those people to enter something and then put it all together in a nice long reel. It's just when you watch it, it's like animated violence and all these people dying. It's like maybe we should have had animated hugs. You know, that would have been an interesting dynamic hugs. I don't know. So, and so there were people, complaining about the limitations of the challenge because it said do a dramatic death in 2 seconds, and people are like, that's not enough time for drama. It's like it was enough for 300 people to, come up with all these different ideas. A lot of hanging deaths in this one. So,
Don't hang me, bro.
no. So,
Yeah. What time does yours come in about? Are you towards the end?
somewhere around the middle, I think. Like pretty close to.
I didn't watch that shit.
I mean, I recommend when you listen to it, he set it to music, and it's a pretty catchy tune there. So, no, don't. I don't want to. No copyright strikes. Thank you.
Oh, you didn't put any open music on there?
What? Well, I think he put his own music probably. I mean, he's also a musician, so he's quite the talented fellow that Josiah Brooks in Australia, Jazza from Draw Jazza, talented fellow. Also, he's also got a new baby recently, so I think I'm shortly after this one.
I hate those.
What?
That's better than old babies. I hate those.
Yeah, you want that new baby smell?
That's a fresh baby.
Fresh baby. Well,
And how many entries did you say they were? There was like
over like 300, I think. So, yeah. So I'm in good company.
yeah.
That's a great story, Ben.
Well, next week I'm going to upload a video of the different processes as I was working on it. So like I'll have the rough draft of it and then all the variations I did over the course of putting mine together. So
I don't think they put yours in, man.
no, it's in there. I've seen it. It's just you probably skipped it because
He does not like you.
Oh. But yeah,
They want to watch the whole thing, man.
well, you've already watched the whole thing. It looks like. Well, you've already watched my entry, Ian, so you don't need to. Oh, there it was. I saw it
Don't need to waste
There
your
you
time.
go. See?
Crap.
Yeah.
Teacher's full of snot.
Are you gonna watch Rocko's Modern Life when it comes on, Frank? On the Splat? Uh-huh.
They're on YouTube all the time.
All the time.
So free.
Oh, man.
Yep.
There's mine.
Yep.
Yay.
Oh, so
There's
they did
Trump.
put the
Oh,
Grim
Trump's
Reapers
good.
together, huh?
Huh?
They put the 2 Grim Reapers together.
I'm the Grim Reaper.
Tear me open, but beware.
What?
Isn't that lyrics to a Metallica song?
Isn't everything a lyric to a Metallica song by now? I mean, anyway.
Everybody hurts sometime.
But yeah, I thought I'd share those on the show. So,
Cool.
now is it time for trivia
Oh,
with
fuck.
Ian.
Fuck.
Yeah. Unless if you
But
or Frank
we-
has anything to add.
I think we've finished the
Anything.
news for this week. Look, that's a long message there, Ian.
Hmm.
I don't appreciate your tone.
Wonder what it said.
Oh.
It probably said the world's
Shit.
going to end at such and such date.
Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
Alright, so now it's time for trivia with Ian.
I guess.
Yeah, trivia with Ian. Trivia with Ian?
You ought to just add that shit to the theme song, man.
But I like doing it live.
Do it live!
We'll do it live.
Yeah. The thing with the thing and the loofah
What's that,
thing.
Bill O'Reilly?
Yeah. He was so angry. He's so angry.
Fucking loofah. With that, what did he call
With
it?
the falafel thing?
Yeah, he meant a loofah, but he called it a falafel.
Okay.
It's fucking hilarious.
I like how if you go to the bookstore, you see Killing Lincoln by O'Reilly and such. Killing Kennedy by O'Reilly and such. And it's like, are all his books going to be about killing people? Because what happens when he writes an autobiography? Didn't he write one already? Keep it pithy. Alright.
Okay, are we doing trivia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Hurry
do-
up and get this horrible shit over with.
Let's do some movie trivia.
I feel like you got an itch for some movies, huh?
Oh yeah, I got that itch for the movie trivia.
Well, at least it's for movie trivia and not something else.
Movie trivia? What's movie trivia?
Movies. Ooh. Hee. Alright.
You sound like you got an itch for something. I don't know if it's trivia, though.
Now come on, man. I'll get off the stuff next week. Come on. Just need a little bit.
I'm good for it.
Okay, so pick us one, Ian.
Thank you guys won.
Let's see.
No. I don't want to. I don't like the trivia. That's it's just like the whole thing is a specific movie, you know.
You want a genre, not a particular film. I get you.
It just gets boring after like. The
Unless
second question.
unless it's a really deep movie, I guess. You know.
How about that one's easy, man. I was gonna say racy movie quotes, but that one's.
Racy. Something just happened out of my studio. Heard something fall down. Cat must have got into something.
Okay, how about what characters? 4. That's average.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do it. Do it.
Extreme.
Just do it. Okay. The Jazz kick ass. That was the guy's name. Alright. Which excellent film of the late 1980s features appearances by such historical notables as Al Capone, Frank Nitti, and Elliot Ness? L.A. Confidential, The Untouchables, Goodfellas, Scarface. Ian, this would be you.
Alright. This is a hard one. Well, I think Goodfellas was definitely a more recent one. You know, like the timeline, I think. It's been a minute. Scarface, that was also more recent, I believe. Never saw that L.A. Confidential or The Untouchables. I'll just say L.A. Confidential.
The Untouchables.
The Untouchables.
Ah. Yeah,
And the answer is The Untouchables. With Sean Connery. That's the Chicago way.
That's why it's not L.A. Confidential.
Oh boy. In one of the most bizarre films of all time, characters such as Craig Schwartz, Maxine Lund, and John Malkovich appear. What is the title of this journey into madness? Adaptation, Being John Malkovich, Magnolia, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And that would be me, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Being John Malkovich.
I will as well.
I will as well.
Copycat. Being John Malkovich. Laura Antipova, Victor Kamarkovsky, and Tanya are just some of the fantastic characters in this deep epic that explores universal emotions such as love, loyalty, and honor. What is the name of this cinematic classic? Dr. Vizagora, Fathers and Sons, Battleship Potemkin, The Scarlet Empress.
Frank.
Dr. Zhivago? Oh, that'd be Zhivago.
Let's try the Scarlet Empress.
I'm trying to decide between Dr. Zhivago or Battleship Potemkin. I'm going to go with Zhivago.
Fucker.
What?
Doesn't matter. It's Ian's turn, fucker.
Alright, fine.
I go
Franklin.
with Battleship.
Alright, I'll go with Dr. Zhivago.
See if Frank was right.
And the answer... Dr. Zhivago! Which classic film noir features Holly Martins, Major Calloway, and Harry Lime all involved in a strange mystery that involves the disappearance of the latter? Is it The Killing, The Asphalt Jungle, The Third Man, The Big Heat?
It's me. I'm gonna go with Asphalt Jungle.
Yeah, I was going to go with that as well.
The Big Heat?
Alright, let's find out.
Oh.
No, The Third Man. Wah, wah, wah. Remember characters named Captain Benjamin L. Willard, Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore, and Colonel Walter E. Kurtz? In which hard-hitting Vietnam War-related film did they appear? Platoon, Coming Home, The Deer Hunter, Apocalypse Now. That would be me, huh?
Yeah.
Hard-hitting Vietnam War-related film.
Just pick one.
All the Vietnam films kind of blur together after a while.
Except for Rambo.
Well, that wasn't specifically about Vietnam. I mean,
I thought he was in Vietnam in one of those.
I'm gonna say Apocalypse Now. Franklin?
I'll say Coming Home.
I'll say Platoon.
I wanted to say Platoon, but nope. Apocalypse Now! Yeah. Which incredibly powerful human drama features characters such as the evil Amon Goeth and the vulnerable Helen Hirsch and Iska Stern, a representative of hope. Itzhak Stern, a representative of hope. The Great Escape, Pulp Fiction, Schindler's List, Das Boot. Frank, this would be yours.
The Great Escape?
I like how they slip Pulp Fiction in there. That's like, what? I'm gonna say Schindler's List.
I'll go with Das Boot.
Okay. Schindler's
Oh.
List.
Well, like Google's list.
Jebediah Leland, Susan Alexander, and Charles Foster Kane are three of the characters from what timeless film classic? Citizen Kane, The Sound of Music, Gone with the Wind, Casablanca. Ian, I believe this one's yours.
Go with.
Hmm?
I'll say. I don't know, man. I'll say Gone with the Wind.
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane.
And the answer is Citizen Kane.
I was gonna say I haven't seen Citizen Kane, but Ben has, so
Well, Charles Foster Kane. He was Citizen Kane. And how come you haven't seen that movie, Frank? It's a brilliant film.
it's great.
It's brilliant. It's not just historically a good movie. It's one you should actually watch because it's that good.
You also said I need to watch Wall-E.
Well, you do. Ian, does he need to watch Wall-E? Is that a movie that you should watch? Is it a good film?
Yeah.
See,
Wally.
it's cute. It's robots. Cute robots. How can you?
Cute robots.
Didn't you like Johnny Five?
Johnny Five Alive. Which Academy Award-winning
Okay.
Which Academy Award-winning film features such individuals as Emperor Joseph II, Emmanuel Scipione, and Antonio Salieri among its stellar cast of characters? Amadeus, The Great Ziegfeld, The Last Emperor, All the King's Men. And this would be me again, huh? Emperor Joseph II.
So you think an emperor was in The Last Emperor?
Yeah, Tom Cruise was the last samurai. Come on now.
Well, yeah. Salieri. Skender.
Pick something.
Shut up.
Holy Jesus fuck.
I'm gonna go with Academy Award winning.
Look at my eye twitching.
I'm gonna say The Last Emperor.
I'm gonna go for that. Rock Me Amadeus.
Amadeus.
All the King's Men, just cuz.
Alright.
See if you're right. Amadeus.
Amadeus. Oons. In which magnificent film does the aging actress Margot Channing struggle against the conveniences of theater critic Addison DeWitt and up-and-coming schemer actress Eve Harrington? The Star, Sunset Boulevard, All About Eve, or Dark Victory? Frank, this would be you.
Yeah, is Eve gonna be an Eve?
Let's do All About Eve.
I'm gonna say... Well, I'll let Ian go first.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna go with Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
That's the one I... Oh! No, All About Eve. I thought it was the one. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. Alright. A cynical Los Angeles police officer surnamed Ryan, a television director named Cameron, and an Iranian-American store owner named Farhad are just some of the many characters that grace the screen in which complicated and socially critical film. Falling Down, Reservoir Dogs, Crash, Magnolia. This is...
Crash.
This is me. I believe.
Ian, which one are you going with?
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm sure it's not, but,
Ugh.
The thing is, I've never seen Crash or Magnolia or Falling
That's a
Down.
good movie. You gotta see it.
Really? Does anybody say that about any of those? I know Crash was the awards darling, but most people are like, eh.
Shut up. Pick a fucking answer.
I'm gonna say Falling Down. Pick one, Frank. Pick one.
I say Crash.
Okay. Frank says Crash.
You even picked.
And he was correct.
Yeah, I wasn't guessing on that. I actually knew this was the answer.
Well,
But
then,
y'all didn't fucking believe me, so I'll let you just, whatever.
well, we don't. Because
Yeah.
you're a liar. You're a lying liar who lies.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, Ben's ahead, so
Yeah, you could make it. We got 5.
I ain't making shit. Ben won.
Oh, come on. You don't want to do it. Come on, just 5 more questions from Disney again.
No, let's do the Think You Know Twilight test, just because no one will fucking know this one.
Okay. I'm down. Go ahead.
And it's easy too, so.
Well, let's do it. Do it!
Like a fucking Twilight test is gonna have higher.
Whoever wins this is a real loser.
I win, but I don't feel good about it.
Alright, what is Alice Cullen's partner's first name? One word, first name only. Huh?
Hmm?
I think Ian went on the last one, right? So I guess it's mine. I'm going to say Bob. 'Cause
of the two, I know there was a team Edward and Jacob, so I'll just say Edward.
Yeah, it's not one of those guys. It's
well, it wouldn't be Edward because whose partner?
Yeah, no. It's
It's who his dad's name is.
Well, it's not his real dad. It's
So you automatically know more about Twilight than Ian and I.
Yeah.
Did you read the books?
No, he's got a goofy fucking name. I can't fucking remember. So I'll just say.
Is it Eduardo?
No.
What are you saying, Frank?
I'll just say Mike because I don't fucking remember.
I'm gonna say Mike. I'll just do Andrew.
Jasper.
Oh, see, it was a goofy name.
It's not. Jasper is not a goofy name.
Really?
That weird.
Oh, Alice and Jasper were both adopted by Dr. Carlisle, but they aren't actually brothers. See, I'm already confused. Who the hell?
Just Frank, you're putting way too much thought into this. Move along, Ian. Who is the Cullens' adopted father? Charlie, Jacob, Carlisle, Billy. Well, they just told you in the way.
Who is it?
It was Carlisle.
Yeah.
I mean,
No wonder this IQ just isn't so smart.
no wonder this was an easy quiz.
So we all three got this one. They just tell you, like,
What? What is Edward's special power? He can see the future. He can change people's emotions. He can read minds. He can fly. This would be, well, Yours. You should answer the last one, Frank, but I answered it because we all saw it.
They can see the future.
I
don't think that's. No, wait, that's not him.
Have you seen Twilight, Frank?
Yeah.
Other than the riff tracks.
Is Edward? Is he the vampire?
Yes.
He's the
Okay,
glitter
so,
vampire.
Well, can't vampires usually change their emotions or hypnotize
That's the
them or
thing.
whatever? That's what
He fucking walks in the daylight and sparkles. He's not a normal fucking vampire.
Sparkles.
But I'll go with you. Say he can change people's emotions.
You're impossibly fast.
Sure. I'll say he can see the future. Why not?
Yeah, because that's not him. That's a girl.
You ain't mine.
You didn't even guess. You didn't even guess, did you?
I thought. No, he said I was gonna go with you on that, on the read minds.
Okay.
No, I said he can change people's emotions because I knew. I thought.
No, yeah, that's what I meant. You were gonna go with me.
So none of us got that one. We just okay. All right. Which Colin dislikes Bella? Carla, Rosalie, Esme, Alice. And whose turn is it?
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
This is so dumb.
Yes, it is.
It's not any dumber than any other shit, but it's funny at least.
I'm gonna go with Esme.
Who are you going with?
Esme. Or Esme.
I'll say Rosalie.
I'll say Alice. I was gonna go with Rosalie, but we've mentioned Alice before, and considering they tend to reuse names they already talked about. All right, so the last one. Frank and I are now tied.
Yeah.
Who is the tracker? Laurent, Rosalie, James, Jasper. What? I don't. Laurent?
I think Jasper.
Ian?
Well, I'm trying to think. Was Rosalie the one they said that could read, or see the read minds or whatever? So that wouldn't be tracking.
He's trying to make sense of the fucking Twilight series. That's adorable.
That's adorable.
I'm just gonna fuck it. I'll just go with James.
All right.
Yeah,
James.
Yeah. The only normal name in the whole fucking thing.
Okay. So I guess it's now it's tiebreaker between Frank and me.
Yeah.
Which vampire is the fastest? Carlisle, Rosalie, Emmett, Edward.
I already gave the answer before.
So am I supposed to? Is it me or Frank? Which one was going first here?
You're impossibly fast.
Edward.
Yeah, it's Edward.
Yeah.
It's Edward. All right.
She meant compared to humans, though, so that doesn't mean she's the fastest, because Carlisle is the guy who's pretending to be his dad, who's also a fucking vampire.
Franklin.
Yeah.
What did we say about thinking about this too much?
Oh.
Edward can read everyone's mind except one person. Who is it? Bella, Eric, Rebecca, or Alice? Frank?
Bella.
Well, yeah, because that's what he finds appealing about it, right, or whatever. Okay.
You guys got that right. So
You're so dumb, I can't read your mind. I like that shit.
Yeah, I want to get into your brain with, like, my penis. Wait, what? No. Who lends Bella a dress to go to the prom? Alice, Rosalie, Rebecca, Esme. I guess, Esme?
I'll say Alice.
Alright.
Let's see who this is.
Congratulations, Frank. Alice, you know more about Twilight than
I don't
either
feel
of
good
us.
about this win at all. I feel
Hey,
dirty.
here's your music. The winner and the champion of.
This was a dirty win, and I don't mind losing it.
Win is a fucking win.
I'd like to say I think Frank spent way too much time paying attention during the riff tracks on this.
Shut up. I'd like to thank God, first of all, for giving me the ability to bullshit my way up to this. I almost gave Ben the win, but that's cool. I didn't. I also got to thank over here.
Because Frank is nothing but humble.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I'll let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best albums of all time.
No, she did. That shit sucked.
I know.
She didn't have an album. She sang a fucking album. She didn't write shit.
Well, it took 8 writers to do Single Ladies, and then Beck wrote all his stuff by himself. So
Not just Beck, fucking, well, any fucking buddy. Alicia Keys wrote her own fucking album.
well, I mean,
Okay, so that's it.
so
Bye, everybody.
well, okay. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in with us. You know, I'd like to thank my co-host Ian for bringing such awesome, news stories that had a lot of discussion. You know, even though I kind of just threw out one that we ended up talking about for like 45 minutes or whatever it was. But yeah, man, good part. You're a big part of the show. We appreciate what you bring to the table, Ian. Frank, you always bring the laugh.
Woo!
You always,
Yeah, I
What?
got a question for Frank. What
Oh, no.
So tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but like on the next trivia, which preteen are you gonna try to pick up with your trivia there?
on the next trivia, it's going to be Mary Kate versus Ashley, and he's totally going to win this one.
Totally. Oh, shit. This is going to sound stupid.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Ben and I are identical twins. Fucking Tia and Tamara and fucking Mary Kate and Ashley, I can't tell those bitches apart. Morgan actually had to explain to me, well, Tamara has a mole, and that's the only fucking way I know. Other than that, I can't tell.
Well, the Olsen twins, one of them had an eating disorder, like, that was spurred on because people would say, oh, well, one of them
Another one is a crackhead.
Well, the one of them wouldn't act on, was like very shy and didn't want to act, so like 90% of the first couple seasons was the one girl, but then later, I don't know. So, anyway, so, like I was saying, though, I'd like to thank both my co-hosts tonight for providing an entertaining discussion that we've carried on for way too late. It's probably past Frank's bedtime. He needs going.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank Frank for beating me.
No, you were holding back. You really knew more than you admitted to.
No, yeah,
No, that
totally.
lie.
He was like, "Man, I'm telling you, Team Jasper all the way." So,
Yeah.
anyway, so I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you on the other side. It's coming. To find out more, visit NoRightsProductions.com. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NoRights. And hey, why don't you check out my Tumblr at NoRights.tumblr.com.